comes to the nation's capital, 4 people were arrested in downtown Ottawa yesterday evening. Thousands of people began arriving in the capital for Canada Day celebrations, and police expected that there would be a lot more people who would show up to Ottawa, not only because of the protest that's supposed to take place by the Freedom Convoy and the Freedom protesters that went to Ottawa earlier this year at the end of January and were there for almost a little over 3 weeks before the Emergencies Act was invoked by the Prime Minister, backed by NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, and they were able to disperse the blockades and the protesters that were there in the coldest months of the Canadian winter. And now, as it's the first time since before the pandemic, since 2019, that there are Ottawa Canada Day celebrations in Ottawa, in the capital, well, people are going to go there to celebrate. It's the best time to be in Ottawa with all the festivals and parade. When it comes to everything that's happening on the streets and the concerts, Ottawa comes to life in a big way. But Ottawa police say that they responded to a situation at Wellington Street and Elgin Street area, which is just a block away from Parliament Hill, where, if you recall those images from earlier this year where the protesters were, well, that whole area where it had the trucks there earlier this year in the blockades has been completely blocked off, and now it's trucks and cars cannot get in front of Parliament Hill, but those other streets are now being monitored. So people were arrested. There you have the footage, and that's you're talking about hundreds of people showed up, and police say almost thousands. People were arrested at the National War Memorial. There you have the images right there of what took place. That's police and some of the people who were there, the 4 people that were arrested, and that's from the cameras that captured the incident. This is Ottawa. This is Thursday evening, just yesterday evening, June 30th, as the War Memorial is where James Topp was supposed to end his long march that he started in February, walking from British Columbia all the way to Ottawa, the nation's capital. There you have the police, essentially, with the who they're capturing. You have about 4 or 5 police on that one individual, 4 right there, who have arrested him. Yeah, those are the images that have come from the capital just right before Canada Day. That's today, and Canada Day is the day where the protesters are supposed to start. And police are saying that essentially, with all the people who are showing up for the celebrations, they're going to only know after the long weekend, after this weekend, whoever goes back to their homes, back to their cities, who were there just for the Canada Day celebrations, and who's going to stay there for the protests. And now, even though in February the protests were about mandates, mask mandates and vaccination cards and all that, even though that's been removed right now, but it's been said that the protest will continue on other issues that the protesters have with the government. And this really has to do with their dislike or the way the government's run under Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. So this is something that we'll see what the response will be from the Prime Minister. And so you saw those images of the arrests, and James Topp, he has started his march to freedom, and it started in February from British Columbia, and he arrived yesterday, and we have footage of him arriving, and Pierre Poilievre, who's a Conservative leadership candidate, walked with him for about 2 kilometers to his march to the War Memorials, where you saw those images, the video that just took place of where the arrests were. And James Topp is a veteran. He's a Canadian Force veteran, and he says that, he's been doing this march, and in the initial stages of it was against the mask mandates, but now it's about the state of Canada, and this is what's happened. Now, when it comes to the police say that they are also investigating incidences that took place yesterday. What you saw, they took to their Twitter. This is the Ottawa Police saying, "We're reviewing video and investigating the incident at the National War Memorial this evening. The initial investigation finds that an interaction with officers became confrontational and one officer was choked. Other officers immediately responded. 4 people were arrested. And police cruisers are and on foot patrol and on bicycles are in the parliamentary precinct and the Byward Market, which is right next to Parliament. They're essentially there right now, making sure that the motor vehicle control zone is under check. And when it comes to Canada's 155th birthday celebration, that will be today.